All right, welcome to week 8. Our weekly payout went to Todd this week for most passing yards by Peyton Manning. Big surprise.
Oh, he's lucky to pick up Josh Freeman.
The third time Todd's won it this year, and actually the third time in the last 4 weeks. Todd's actually our number one scoring team, so not too much of a surprise, but he needs to keep buttoning up those flannel shirts. And
he's lost 2 weeks in a row, though.
He has lost 2 in a row. Most points overall for your entire team that you start, just so we're clear, will be our weekly payout this week, which will be fun as there's 6 teams on bye week, so probably some more 110-point scores this week. So probably 130 will take top score.
I'll just take 109.
Bert scored high points this week. And again, for I think the 4th time this year, the second highest scoring team lost to the highest scoring team as Bert defeated Justin.
That's over 50%.
That's great math.
Minnesota education.
And Justin scored the second highest points, again, after Andy Nelson had mocked his trade. So, again, Andy mocked a trade, and again, it works out for the person getting mocked. So we'll see who Andy mocks in the next couple minutes.
Justin might be involved in that mock.
Yeah. The most exciting finish, actually, goes to Drew and Andy Nelson right here.
Fuck that.
As it was a garbage Monday night game, so most of you probably weren't paying too close attention, but I had the game on, just kind of watching it on Gamecast in the chat room. And under 2 minutes, like a minute 40 left, Greg Jennings catches a meaninless 12-yard catch. And at the point, Andy was up by 0.8 points and ends up losing to Drew by 2 or so. And it changed everything as Andy's now 4-3 with 5 other people in that division. And Drew's 4-3 as well, and Andy's on a 3-game losing streak. Have you won since you lost Julio?
No. 0-3.
0-3 without Julio, which most people would be that way if they lost their star player.
I lost my first rounder, Trent Richardson. I don't even know what round he is right now. I lost my second rounder, Julio Jones. Third rounder is an asterisk, McFadden. So,
people say you always turn these videos to about your team. I don't understand why sometimes, but now I understood.
Well, everyone wants to talk about their own team.
Not everybody's on the video. You are. You got to talk about everybody.
Good point.
Andy, Drew, Don, Justin, and Whipple are all 4-3 in the black division, with Leaper at 2-5, and Josh is at 1-6.
Big win for Josh last week.
Josh actually got his first win of the season. Defeated Todd, who's now on a 2-game losing streak, and Todd dropped to 5-2.
Little foreshadowing.
Todd, myself, and Bert are all 5-2 in the gold division. With myself having a 5-game win streak and Bert having a 4-game win streak. Andy Wallace is in the 4th playoff spot in our division at 4-3, and Carl and Brad are 3-4. And Blake's at 1-6. The blows keep coming for Blake, though, as he gets Gronk back, his 3rd or 4th round pick, which he'll, had he came back when he was supposed to. Loses Doug Martin for, I don't even think it's official yet, but
tore labrum. Every baseball player goes to Dr. Andrews after he tears his labrum.
So basically, it's not looking good for Blake. At best, Blake can finish 7-6. So he needs to win out and hopefully make up some ground and maybe sneak into that 4th playoff spot, as he's got some ground to make up big time. 4 games back from the top 3 teams right now for Blake.
You 5-2ers in the gold division. Don't get too comfortable because Brad's in 5th place behind you.
Yeah, no, he's got a good team.
He's got
so does my dad.
Just as many points, if not more points, than all of you guys.
I mean, I remember talking as Todd started 5-0. I mean, thinking he was the lock to run away with the division, and now he's tied for first with 2 other teams. We had 3 trades actually this week, and 2 more here in the past. Yeah. 2 more in the past I have on my list.
Fucking burping, dude. It stinks.
It's the spotted cow.
It's just horrible smelling.
Straight from Wisconsin. Leaper traded Brandon Jacobs and David Wilson and Roddy White and Andre Brown. So the whole Giants, every injured running back for Leaper says thank you from the sidelines. So Leaper traded 4 injured players that did not play last week at all for Phillip Rivers, Stephen Ridley, Toby Gerhart, and Aaron Dobson, which actually, and he deserves this because he picked up Gerhart after Peterson's son died, taking advantage of a terrible tragedy It's basically karma.
You're the worst person ever.
Everyone agrees that Andy Nelson flat out probably deserves this.
Well,
So-
obviously, you bit me. I had the game won until Greg Jennings makes a meaningless garbage time catch.
Yeah, a toddler dies and you take advantage of it is what you did. Flat out.
Hey, this league's about fantasy. Wins and losses.
Nobody else had a claim for Gerhardt, only you. Just flat out. And you lost 3. Who knows? That's just be nice, basically, and good things come to those who are nice. So
I lost a kid too, Julio.
yeah.
Oh my god.
And yet you're just digging yourself a bigger hole. So I don't think anybody should pick up Gerhardt the rest of the year. When Leaper made that trade, I told him drop Gerhardt right away. It's just you don't want that on your team.
Big news! I just got a tweet though. Whispers are Adrian Peterson maybe moved to Dallas.
I doubt it.
No, for Herschel Walker.
Yeah, for Herschel Walker. The reverse. I traded Ruben Randall for Marcus Colston, and then I wasn't done trading as today I traded Jordan Reed, the top 5 supposed to be pick, CJ Spiller, and the number 2 overall quarterback, Matthew Stafford, for Timothy Wright, Drew Brees, and Le'Veon Bell.
Think you'll be able to get your hands on Sproles?
I'm going to try to get all the Saints, basically, is my goal.
Not a
And
bad offense to be part of.
some other trades that just happened. You probably all got the emails. I can't remember them. Basically, Don Anderson just traded.
Wait, time out. I just got
Yeah.
it. Did a trade happen?
No. Don Anderson traded Adrian Peterson and Antonio Brown, so 2 top 10 players at their positions for Matt Forte and Stevie Johnson, who I think is on their 3rd quarterback of the year. So congratulations, Don. Both those guys are still bye weeks up, and you're 4-3, and you just traded a guy that is in your division with the same record, your 2 best players. I don't trade within the division very often, especially at this point of the year. And then what was the other trade that just happened?
We have to elaborate a little bit more on.
Go ahead,
Donnie.
Bash him.
We can't let him get away with this.
He loves it.
Donnie, I guarantee you this trade's still going to be there this week or next week. You traded to get Forte, who's on a bye. Don't worry, you got. Don't worry.
Yes.
Don't worry. You got Forte off a big week, but he's got a bye, and you got Stevie Johnson, who takes the place of Antonio Brown. Part of me's a little selfish because I'm going against Antonio Brown now and Adrian Peterson, so it makes for a tougher match for me.
Making it about yourself again.
Of course.
And then Leaper, what was your trade? Keenan Allen and Phillip Rivers and
Dobbs.
Dobson for Terrence Williams and Malcolm Floyd.
Michael.
Floyd, the Cardinals. I almost said Diamondbacks. But Leaper frees up a bench spot and gets some help he needs this week, and he's not going to start Rivers anymore with Stafford. And Terrence Williams is taking Miles Austin's spot, so Dallas likes to pass. So our Week 8 matchups, I play my dad. I'm tied for first. My dad's 3-4 outside looking in right now in the playoffs. We're in a division matchup. Brad plays Todd, who's also 5-2, tied for first, and 3-4. So big games for both Brad and all 4 of us. We lose. We're out of the playoffs potentially, and they're in.
Maybe we should talk about tie breaks.
Yeah, we are going to talk about tie breaks. Andy just pointed this out. Tie breaks are as they always have been. Winning percentage. It's on the league website on the front page. I can't rattle off, but basically ESPN as default has it set up where head-to-head is the
No.
not matters.
Total
points, and that is not correct. It's on the front page. I'll have to adjust that after this video. But it's on the front page, same as always has been. Head-to-head matters more than total points. It's just so we're all clear. It's been like that since day one. It's still like that.
Darn you, Donnie.
But just probably a minor hiccup for switching websites. Whipple plays Andy Wallace. Both are 4-3, and both are at a spot where a loss puts them out of the playoffs right now. And Wallace did make a good bid this week as he spent the majority of his fab on Michael James, and Doug Martin's probably out for the season. So I don't think Whipple bid on him, and both of them need a running back. So good job, Andy Wallace, managing your team. I'm proud of Andy this year. If we had a most improved player of the year, it would be Andy Wallace. Pretty proud of him and his sweater vest. Likes the videos, so thought I'd give him a shout out on Wednesday nights. Blake and Josh play each other. Both are 1-6. Both outlooks are looking pretty dim, but somehow both are 1-6, and both feel like they still have good teams and don't need to make a lot of moves. They both think that way. Blake's trying to trade Gronk. He sent out an email 20 minutes ago. But Blake we talked about that. Blake winning out. 6-7 doesn't look like it'll make the playoffs in any division, but anything can happen.
We're getting into all the division games, so these were the games
these
really
are huge
matter.
games. Another huge game like we're getting ready to talk about. Justin plays Andy Nelson. Both of you guys are 4-3. You're in that gridlock at 5 teams at 4-3. Justin just revamped his team, had Forte and nobody else to play this week, and just total scrubs, looking like a loss. And now he has a top running back overall to play. So
and wide receiver.
Yeah,
because if you take out the bye weeks, Antonio Brown's the top 5-10 wide receiver.
Yeah, Justin really changed his team from a couple weeks ago. Bert plays Drew. Both are currently in the playoffs. A win here for can only help. And for Drew, a loss could knock him out of the playoffs. So Bert's still going for that division. So big matchup there. Drew is trying to trade Percy Harvin for top 5 value for those of you that are interested. So
Percy's starting this week for Drew.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, but he might not be starting for the Seahawks. So continue to maybe if you probably take AJ Green straight up, I imagine. Maybe.
That's a stretch.
Yes, it is a stretch. Exactly.
Yeah, you have to throw in someone because Percy still has a bye week.
Yeah, he'll need a fill-in. Don Anderson plays at 4-3, plays Leaper at 2-5. And this is huge for Leaper as he's 2-5. It doesn't look that great of a record, but he controls his own destiny as he plays 3 of his last 6 games are against division opponents. So he could still finish 4-2 in the division and end up with a nice solid record to maybe take that 3rd or 4th spot, especially with a bunch of teams at 4-3. So nobody's out of it yet. I mean,
he plays everyone in front of him. So if he beats all of them, he gains a game. He gains a game on me, Justin, Drew, and Todd.
He controls his own destiny. He controls his own destiny. So does Blake, and so does Josh. I mean, a lot of big games coming up. I mean, Blake got Gronk. Blake's team could get 6-7 and still make it in the playoffs. Who knows? What was your most disappointing?
Is that fake drink?
No, I was
I was like, what did
going to get to the next topic.
Jesus.
What was your most disappointing this week, Andy?
The biggest disappointment this week, I mentioned it before, a little foreshadowing on Todd. Todd, almost a certain lock going into Monday night with Blair Walsh, who's pretty much automatic 10-point plus kicker, and he puts up a solid 1 point. He missed his first 50-yarder of his career and came up with a mysterious hamstring injury, and that caused Todd to lose the game. So devastating loss for Todd because he pretty much would have had a stranglehold on the division, being up 1 game and have a 50-plus point advantage on his team. So Blair Walsh, biggest disappointment because it cost Todd a victory.
Best and worst trade. I mean, we kind of got into a little bit, but final words?
Probably worst trade would be Andy taking the running back debacle from Leaper.
To yourself.
Yeah. So myself is the worst trade. I get Roddy White and 3 running backs, and not any of those guys play.
Is Roddy playing this week?
I think he'll play.
Yeah,
But,
why did you drop Andre Brown?
Yeah, and you dropped Andre Brown today. Who's going to be back after their bye week?
Yeah.
Drop David Wilson. They hate him.
Yeah.
Okay.
They hate
then nobody pick him up. I'll quick do it. So no waiver claims on Andre Brown.
Lock of the week to win. I mean, a lot of rosters changed here in the past.
Well,
before you made this decision at noon.
And they're going to change after this because there's so many buys.
Yep.
Well,
no one's keeping track.
Yeah, my guys, no one's keeping track. I halfway want to shift it in the middle of the day here after trade, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm still gonna go with the original one. I'm gonna go with Bert to knock off Drew. Partially because I'm a little bitter at Drew for taking me down last week, but Bert's got really, really good matchups. He's starting all his Packers against the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers, Boykins, James Jones, they're all going to put up 20, 30 points against the Vikings.
Prime time Sunday night too.
Exactly, prime time. It is on the road, so that's one thing that the Vikings have going for them. But
Not much.
I like Bert to knock off Drew this week.
So that's it. Everybody, again, most points this week is our
top fantasy performer.
Who was your top fantasy performer?
Jeez, you always forget about my shit. I sit there and study all day at work.
You don't study shit. You're unprepared.
Whatever.
Who?
Matt Forte, 3 touchdowns because Cutler goes down, and he did so good with his 3 touchdown performance, 90 yards, 31 plus fantasy points. He was that sought after. He was able to be traded for on the bye.
Don Anderson might be on borrowed time though. I mean, he gets -1 out of his quarterback and Cutler and still wins. So
that's him. How do you do that, Tom?
that is
I
impressive.
have Eli starting right now.
Yeah.
Tell me,
Yeah.
how do you get
Eli might go
how do you get victories with negative points?
You have to worry about that with Eli. So Andy needs a quarterback. So good luck to everybody, and we will see you next week. People hate that.